Have you ever wondered why the Middle East seems to be in a constant state of turmoil? Why do we see headlines about conflict in this region day after day, year after year? What if I told you that the roots of today's conflicts might be found in an ancient book, written thousands of years ago? Let us explore the complex history of the Middle East and see if the Bible offers any insights into these modern-day struggles. To understand the present, we have to look back at the past. The story, in many ways, begins with a man named Abraham, a central figure in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. According to the Bible, in the book of Genesis, God made a promise to Abraham, saying that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars and that they would inherit a specific land. This is often referred to as the Abrahamic covenant. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Abraham had two sons who would become the patriarchs of two great nations. His first son, Ishmael, was born to Hagar, his wife Sarah's handmaiden. Later, when Abraham and Sarah were very old, they had a son named Isaac. The Bible says that God's covenant promise would pass through Isaac and his descendants, the Israelites. Meanwhile, Ishmael's descendants would also become a great nation, who many believe are the ancestors of the Arab peoples. From the very beginning, there was tension between these two half-brothers and their mothers. Genesis tells of Sarah insisting that Hagar and Ishmael be sent away, leading to a painful separation. This ancient family rivalry, a struggle over birthright and inheritance, seems to cast a long shadow over history. Many see the ongoing conflict between Jews and Arabs today as a continuation of this sibling rivalry that began thousands of years ago. Fast forward through history, and we see these two groups, the descendants of Isaac and the descendants of Ishmael, living side by side, sometimes in peace, often in conflict, over the very same land promised to Abraham. After centuries of displacement, the Jewish people began returning to their ancestral homeland in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, culminating in the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. This event was celebrated by many Jews as the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, but it also led to displacement and conflict with the Arab populations already living there. This brings us to the question of biblical prophecy. Does the Bible predict the specific conflicts we see today? Many passages in the Old Testament, particularly in books like Ezekiel, Daniel, and Zechariah, speak of future events centered around Israel. For example, Ezekiel 38 talks about a great coalition of nations coming against Israel in the latter days. People often try to identify modern countries with the ancient names mentioned in these prophecies, like Magog, Persia, or Cush. Similarly, the New Testament, in books like Matthew and Revelation, speaks of wars, rumors of wars, and great turmoil in the end times, with many events centered in and around Jerusalem. Jesus himself, in Matthew 24, spoke of these things as signs preceding his return. Now it's crucial to approach this with care. Interpreting prophecy is incredibly complex, and people have different views. Some believe that today's headlines are a direct fulfillment of these ancient texts, seeing every political alliance and conflict as a piece of a divine puzzle falling into place. They might point to specific verses and say, "See? This is exactly what the Bible predicted would happen." Others take a more cautious approach. They argue that these prophecies were either fulfilled in ancient times or are meant to be understood more symbolically, representing spiritual struggles rather than literal geopolitical events. They might suggest that trying to map current events directly onto biblical prophecy can be misleading and can even be used to justify political agendas. So, what's the takeaway? The conflict in the Middle East is incredibly complex, with deep historical, political, and religious roots. The ancient story of Isaac and Ishmael provides a powerful narrative framework for understanding the deep-seated rivalry over land and heritage. Whether or not the Bible specifically predicts the conflicts of the 21st century is a matter of interpretation and faith. However, what is undeniable is that the Bible's narrative has profoundly shaped the identities, beliefs, and claims of the very people at the heart of this conflict. It frames the way they see themselves, their history, and their destiny. Understanding this biblical background doesn't give us a simple answer, but it does offer a crucial layer of insight into why this region remains a focal point of global attention and why the struggles there feel so ancient and so deeply personal. It's a story of family, faith, and a land promised long ago. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this exploration interesting, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content that delves into the fascinating intersections of history, faith, and our modern world. See you next time.